we go.
It's recording. Ears are ringing.
Do you have to whack it that hard?
It was like right by my ear. Like,
Precisely.
I don't know why I did that.
Welcome back to the regular dad. Yes, the good old ear ringing. Not ear rings, but ringing in the ears.
Yeah.
Tinnitus.
I got some of that going on.
Yeah.
It happened after COVID.
That sucks.
It does suck. Yeah.
Ooh.
It seems to be worse in Texas, too. I don't know what the deal is with that. Humidity or something. So.
Well, it got to be Texas' fault. You know?
It's not. I just said it seems to be worse in
I don't
Texas.
like iPhones. Texas, my ears suck in Texas.
We're both wearing High Ridge paraphernalia.
We are, and if you'll notice, I have it on the right way this time. Unlike the last time that I wore a High Ridge shirt.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Hashtag wear it backwards. Hashtag wear it backwards.
Roll with it. Okay.
Roll with it, baby.
That's good. Good music.
Yeah.
Good music.
That's not a good rendition, but anyways.
We probably won't release that as an EP.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
I don't
okay.
think it's okay.
But maybe Lincoln can do something with it.
Right.
Mom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, welcome back again to the Regular Dad. If you like what we're doing here, please like and share.
Yes.
If you do not like what we're doing here, please share it with all of your friends.
Lots of commenting. Yeah.
Comment.
We
everything you
welcome.
can.
We welcome
Absolutely.
your negativity. Yes.
Yes, and tell them, tell your friends,
Yes.
tell the world
Yes.
why you should avoid
Yes.
it. We would appreciate it. So, our social media profile spotlight: Thomas Oilfield Services.
Really?
Yeah. So now here's the thing. I knew that company was growing like mad over the last number of years.
I think I've seen their trucks driving around.
Exactly. And if you have, they're clean. Even their rigs that go in on to location
Yeah.
are clean. And if you do see them dirty, it
Interesting.
won't be for very long.
Interesting.
So,
Okay.
and here's the cool thing. So Thomas Oilfield Services. Now, I knew this company was growing.
Yeah.
Like I said. All right. And I knew that they had a great reputation. I didn't know who was at the helm. It didn't matter.
Right.
It just, So I was actually invited to a fundraiser, by our state representative, Jay Dean. He said, "Hey, we're doing this fundraiser, and we're doing it out." He gave me the address.
Yeah.
And so I went out there, and it starts to come together. And I said, "Well, the Thomas Oilfield, this Greg Peeler." What?
I don't know who Greg Peeler is.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay.
You wouldn't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Now Greg doesn't do social media. Now he does for the business he does, so he's out there. And they have a company that, that does that for him, but he does not himself. He's not on any platform that I know of. His wife is on there. But I knew him back in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. He at the time was dating my next door neighbor.
Okay.
All right. And that's not who he married.
So
not
early
anything wrong
to
with her,
mid-90s,
but
you would have been high school, junior high?
I was 13.
Okay. All right.
12,
Yeah.
13, 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact time frame.
I guess you guys call it middle school here. Or is it junior high? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I went to it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
You survived
junior
it.
high, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had not seen him in 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, 28 years, whatever it was. And the thought that the Greg that I knew then, and he was always now, he's a few years, older than us, 3-4 years older than us, whatever it was. And he was always nice to, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?" And he, because, but listen, man, he had a straw cowboy hat on the dash of his dirty, at least I think it was dirty. As I remember it was. Maybe he kept it clean. I don't know. But he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Long mullet, looked like he's an extra straight out of some type of country music.
Joe
video.
Dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, nice.
Yeah.
Is all get out. Very friendly. And like I said, and none of that has changed. Okay. But being the good old, he wore his kickers. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
But he worked.
Yeah.
He knew what to do. All right.
That's awesome.
I don't know the entire story. Someday I'll get to sit with him and hear how it came to be. But what I know of the genesis of the company is they were doing something like, I don't know, mowing lawns or something. And he just said, here's this piece of equipment that we can get and we can clean it up and we can rent it out. And it was just like piece of equipment at a time. But then
wow.
Right?
That's so
and it was
cool.
just piece by piece by piece.
I
but
love stories like that, man.
And,
That's
and
so
it is
cool.
total just, self-made, but it was through the work ethic.
Yeah.
And
hustle.
And making sure that he, and I don't know what his education background is and what he's done, but he's a phenomenal leader because he's reproduced his mentality and his genuine heart to take care of customers.
Yeah. Because
the customers are signing the checks,
and
he respects that, but he's going to put his best foot forward, period. And their equipment is clean. It works. It's not ratty. How many times have you gone to rent a piece of gear? And he does big stuff, but I'm talking about just from the local rental house, whatever. And it's just ratty and held together and stuff's taped and, and just, no, he doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. And, but if there is a problem, they have service and, people are there.
That's cool.
And so they're so trustworthy that they could get into selling hot dogs and they would be the number one because people go, that's the best freaking hot dog I can get in this area for sure.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going, So it wouldn't matter what they do. Case in point. Okay. Mm-hmm. They started a restaurant.
Are you serious? An oil field services company? Wow.
Now it's not theirs. So this is I say it's not a Thomas Oilfield restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's the same family.
Okay.
And so if you want to know, okay, this is how they do it, then of course, if you're in the East Texas area, go out and check out Serenity Ranch Table. That's how you find it online.
Wow.
It's most people just call it Serenity Ranch now.
Okay.
But as I understand, that was kind of their personal kind of oasis.
Yeah.
But then they built
like a passion project restaurant type situation. That's cool.
And it is amazing. It is the most unpretentious but refined place. You walk up there, they've got valet parking, right? Parking, you hear it, parking. And the dudes that are out there are super friendly, young guys wearing cowboy hats. Now they're dressed nice.
That's cool.
But they got cowboy hats on and how you doing, sir? And all the professional
like they're obviously being trained.
These guys.
And mentored.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you go in and everything's just, it's decorated to the nines. And
we need
it's
to
just,
go out. Where is it at?
It's going close to Jefferson on 2208. So between Harleton and
I have
Jefferson.
to check that out.
So it's a great place, but you can see, not everyone can go out to a, oil field location and see what Thomas Oilfield does.
Right.
But you can see like the mentality and the heart of how they do things.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Now, Mary, his wife, has that's her side of things. But that is it's the Peeler way.
That's really cool.
And it is just
I love stories like
awesome
that.
to be able to watch. So anyway,
it's funny, most of our customers at my little charter operator that I fly for are like that. That's what I love about our customers.
Yeah, and so
they're they've worked hard.
Yeah.
And including the owner of our company.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same story,
So
the hustle,
Yep. And not forgetting that and valuing where they came from. And not thinking that you're better than anyone.
It's cool to be a part of it.
So because Greg will sit and talk to me, we got
wow, that was really loud. Ow. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll glue my finger on later. It's fine.
We don't need a clacker board.
No, I'll just do that from now on. But I kind of reconnected. I said, "Hey, I'm Ben from all these years ago." So oh yeah,
yeah.
I saw him at Skinner's, and he's like, hey, how are you doing, sir? You know, and he
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm like,
awesome.
come on, you've got bigger fish to fry,
Yeah.
you know, but he just, no
Yeah.
one is better than him,
That's
you know,
cool.
and that's just kind of how he
Yeah.
vibes, you know? So anyway.
So Thomas Oilfield
Yeah.
Services.
So, well, and so the reason I want you to check out
Serenity
their
Ranch.
Yes, Serenity
Those
Ranch.
two different.
They're same people, but different. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can find them on social media, different platforms. But watch Thomas Oilfield stuff on Instagram, and just here they have little segments with different
That's
leaders
cool.
of their company
Wow.
about how they do things. You don't have to be in the oilfield services industry to get a lot of good info from what
Interesting.
they're saying.
Interesting.
It doesn't matter
It's
what
like
you're doing.
educational. That's cool.
Yeah, if you've got a kid,
So it's not
hey,
just like, hey man, we're out here on the oil field.
no,
you know,
none of that.
it's-
No.
That's
They're
that's cool.
they're dressed up in
That's
their
cool.
in their East Texas vibe. They're not
Yeah.
they're not suit and tie.
button
they're not
down,
doing that.
button down with jeans and boots.
No,
and a cowboy hat.
they're in their branded material.
Okay,
They're in their
cool.
poncho branded, stuff.
Yeah.
So they have poncho shirts and Thomas Wolfe, and you're like, now they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's a giveaway for anyone that knows the poncho brand. But I don't care if your kid's starting a lawn mowing service. Okay, have him watch some of those
That's
different
awesome.
videos and just hear the guys talk about the why they do what they do and the heart that goes into what has made that company successful.
Yeah,
You adopt some of those things, you're good.
yeah,
And he is attached to other businesses that do things the same way.
that's cool.
So anyway, yeah. Anyway, so that's that's the social media spotlight, but also just kind of a very, very good
Yeah,
encouragement, good thing. You can go get a lot of good information from him. So, and he's not on there that much. It's his different guys on his team.
yeah.
He's on their plan.
Well, he knows who to hire, take care of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hasn't hired me, and so we know that he knows what he's doing. All right, he knows what he's doing. So he's got it together. But anyway, so you had something that you wanted to kick around today.
Yeah,
The kind of the DIY, the do it
I
yourself
was just thinking about
versus
paying
hiring
for
it out,
hiring
outsourcing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I was just thinking about like I'm 47,
right.
and I was thinking about what I see online, some of the posts that are made about. I go to you do different Reddit threads and things. You're looking for help with something online, and it's a common theme that I see that like younger people about. Hey, well, I can just do it myself.
Yeah.
And to Gen Z's credit and the millennial generation credit, there's a lot of confidence in the ability to just do it yourself.
Yeah.
Probably
There
more
is.
so than even, my generation, our generation.
Thank you. Don't tell Dina because she will disagree.
Yeah.
Now, I'm one of those.
You're kind of
millennials start the 83, 84.
Yeah, and me too. Yeah, they
Because
say
I'm-
there's a zillennial
Yes.
subgeneration that
Yeah.
like grew up with the internet.
Because I'm 80.
one of
What are you,
those
77?
77, yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm one of those
So,
two. Which
yeah.
Okay. That aside, I think that
I'm
there's
definitely the older.
I think there's a confidence. I would say maybe in my perception as a wanting to be a crotchety old man, I would say an overconfidence sometimes.
Absolutely.
in those-
Stay off my lawn.
Those younger generations.
I know
they
more
can
than you. The
do
Ron
stuff.
Swanson.
Yeah. No, I'm talking like the younger generation is
Oh.
like, yeah, has that. So that's just the crotchety old man in me though, because it's to be admired that you would take something and go after it and just do
Yeah.
it, right? So it's like, maintenance on your house, maintenance on your car. Why do I need to go to school for this? I can just learn it on YouTube, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I was just thinking, like, what advice would I give someone? Because I have evolved. I was a DIY pretty hardcore guy, especially when it came to like car maintenance and stuff.
Right.
And I've moved into I don't want to touch it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to hire it out
Right.
because it's just more trust. Now, part of that is as you grow, you hopefully move up in your career and make more money, and you're able to hire these things out. Right. But I was in the context, like, let's talk about buying a house versus renting.
Yep.
So you grow,
houses are so expensive.
right, you start out, you're renting a little apartment somewhere and you feel like, oh, I'm just wasting my money. I'm just burning up my money. My landlord, I see this a lot on some of the Reddit threads that I come across, or I'm on a website called Quora where people ask questions.
Yeah.
And there's a thread that comes up, and some of it's probably just AI generated or whatever, but it's like, hey, I'm renting right now, my landlord's horrible, and then there's all this venting about landlords.
Yeah.
I get it. You're not investing in this property.
Yeah.
You're helping someone else invest in it, so you want to go buy your own. Okay. Well, you're going to go buy, say you can't afford a good house,
Yep.
you're going to go get a fixer-upper. Or it's like the allure of the fixer-upper. Well, I could go buy a good house, what today's price is for $170,000, a good starter home. Or I could buy this $90,000 fixer-upper, and I can just do it myself. How hard can it be?
Right.
And I just think that it's important to have self-awareness. Some people, I would say the minority of people, are able to do that no problem. It's
Okay.
like they step into something, they turn it into a business, they flip the house, and they just keep moving on. There's some families at our church that are like that.
Yep.
I'm not one of those people.
Yeah. Well,
And I have to be self-aware enough to know that. And I just think it's important for, like, if I was to give my son advice, like he's 15, he's going to be moving out soon, and say
Yeah.
he decides not to go to college,
Yeah.
which is a valid choice, and he wants to go get a trade, and so he's like, well, I'm going to go rent, and then he said, hey, Dad, I'm ready to buy a house.
Yep.
Should I do this fixer-upper? I would say, think about how much time you're going to spend.
Yep.
What's your time worth?
Yeah. Yeah. That is an equation that only really you can define for yourself.
Right.
But you'll see young married people, and they do get a house, and then they are spending young married evenings together painting a room.
Yeah.
Or or whatever, and that's fine. Dina and I, when we started, we were married, and it was 1 week after we were back from our honeymoon in 2006, we both started grad school. I mean, 1 week.
Wow.
Right? And then I think she wrapped up in 09, no, 08, somewhere in there. But then she picked up with PhD in 15.
Yeah.
And in between that time, she was getting her counseling hours, and then she was moving into where she could get her counselor supervision. And then she had a whole other series of credentials that, certifications that she brought on. And so if you put all the letters after her name, God, there's a lot of them. It's half the alphabet.
It's half the alphabet.
It seems like it. Yeah. But yeah, so we didn't do that. Now we tried. We thought we were going to.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to
buying a fixer-upper.
Just when we bought our first home, but it was like, well, we need to paint this. I'm like, we will do this our frickin' selves.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Even just painting a room.
No. Because because what I expected to see, versus versus the product I was able to offer, I knew I am not a painter.
Right.
Anyone can take a brush and stick it against the wall and put some color on it. Okay.
Right.
But oil based on wood trim and not leaving brush strokes, rolling out color on the walls.
Right.
And making sure that you don't have any light spots, or just putting it on so thick that you start to mesh all the texture together. No.
Yeah.
So there is skill to all of that.
Yeah.
Now, and I know painters have a bad rap, especially, as the profession goes. Well, they're sniffing paint all the time. You got paint thinner sitting over here on a shelf, but it's like, but it is not for everyone. There is a skill.
Well, and
that's involved.
It takes time to learn those things.
Yeah. And so I think the overconfidence is, oh, I can do that. Well, you might be able to, but the assumption that you have the skill.
Yeah.
It just exists.
Maybe part of the self-awareness too is, are you willing to accept the lower standard of quality that you can provide?
Right.
Because if you have a Cadillac taste and you're going to DIY something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like with your situation. I don't know that I would be bugged by brush strokes.
Right.
Right. And so maybe I would DIY that project.
Yeah,
but for
you might.
you, it's like, no, this is unacceptable.
And nothing
You know?
wrong with substandard, because by whose standard, by
Right,
whose measure,
right.
You know. So now, I'll say that because I outsource my yard, okay, to my kids, okay?
Yeah.
and mostly Banks.
Right.
Everly will get in every now and then if she needs a little bit of money, or she'll get in to if I'm doing it because Banks isn't available, and
Right.
I like to do the yard, and she'll help out old Dad, and still get paid. But I mean, she helps me out.
Yeah.
But even like when we were gone this summer, I had a guy come in and mow the yard 3 times. Okay, does a great job, but it's still not what I would do.
Right.
It's not to my. It's not a job well done for me.
Yeah.
It's a job done well enough that I'm happy to pay you when I'm not around.
Right.
So I don't come back to some type of weird jungle and make my neighbors mad and whatnot. But no, in my opinion, arrogant as it may sound, no one mows my yard and does a better job or puts more care into it than I do.
Yeah.
But I wrote the check for the sod. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been out there sand leveling it, and I do all the soil
You have
samples. I take the soil samples
Man.
to the place to get them
It's
sent
like
off
golf
to the
course
lab.
quality.
Right? I have my
Yeah.
fertilizers, I get the custom mix and do everything based on the nutrients that I need for my yard. I sample it before and after the growing season and make sure that we've got what we need as it's transitioning into dormancy. I put out the pre-emergence. I have backpack sprayers for post-emergence. I have stuff I got sawfly worms, kind of like army worms, but they come in and they're not as destructive. But I started noticing that's not that's dead from being eaten, not brown from being dry.
In your case, DIY yard maintenance is better than almost any yard maintenance available in our area.
Absolutely, because the people that charge the most, still,
yeah.
So I mean, not down on them, but I know what I want it to look like.
This is a great example though, because when we moved into this house, we have 5 acres.
Yeah.
And I don't know, 2.5, 3 acres of it probably are grass. And I inherited that the previous owner gave me a 66-inch zero turn that was fully capable of taking care of all the yard maintenance equipment that I needed to take care of the place.
And another Freudian slips over there. You're looking at me and you say, "Lord."
And I made an agreement with my wife that, hey, we're going to buy this place. Our payment's going to go up, but I'm going to take care of the yard.
Yeah.
We had a guy mowing the yard at the old house because we were both busy. That lasted all of like 4 months. Because
I remember this transition.
It was like 7 to 8 hours of work.
Yeah, you were like white flagging.
I'm like, I can't do this.
But
and
you were cussing at that mower.
The mower was giving me issues too.
Yeah.
Which I finally got it fixed. But for me, and this is a good example of, it just didn't make sense.
No, well, and so all right, so Banks hurt his knee or ankle. I don't remember which it was. He seems to have an injury every so often, but it was at the back end of school, and so we went into summer with an injury. Now his plan was to mow the yard all summer, and that was going to be his thing. He was going to make money. He was saving up for a car and different things.
Yeah,
all that timing didn't really go as we expected anyway, so it's just as well. But that meant I was going to mow the yard. Well, that's fine. But and I said this on an earlier episode, we wanted to go to the lake.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I can mow my own yard. I like to mow my own yard. Don't have a problem with that in the world. But I wanted to go to the lake with a family.
Right.
So, if I couldn't get it done during the week, and I knew how that week was going to go, I'd call my guy. Same guy that does yours.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, and I'll call him.
Does a great job.
Yeah, just call him, call him for the fill-in. He wound up doing it most of that summer. But I have a very limited amount of weekend time with my kids, and we started in literally down by 3 years and 5 years less. Now, the kids, when they, what are they going to do? They're 3, they're running around in diapers. No, it doesn't matter. It's time that you had with your kids.
Right.
And feeding them and diaper changing them and,
Yeah.
getting them to quit crying and doing all that stuff. We didn't have that connective time. And, and I am so thankful for the investment we made in outsourcing the yard last year. And because quickly this summer,
Yeah.
he's got a job. He's gone, most weekends. And then depending on what he does, this very well, because he's now a junior, that could have been his last summer at home, because in a lot of college things, and depending on the program, you may get out in June-ish or so, you graduate in May, then you're
Gone.
Hey, yeah. And just depending on,
Yeah,
on what it is.
I moved out of my house when I was 18, moved to Texas. I've never lived in Oregon since.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now people will listen, well, that must be nice. You can do all this, you can do all that. Yes, it is. It is,
Right.
it is a very nice thing. If you can't outsource, certain things, involve your kids with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And teach them and let them be,
Yeah.
be
If
involved with that.
if you've got a family, man, but see, that's the thing. Rent an apartment.
Sure.
Like, you don't have a yard to take care of.
Right.
Find a good landlord.
Right.
Who takes good care of the property.
Yep.
Don't just look for the newest property. Find one that's got a good review for the management company and all of that, and rent an apartment. Don't put yourself in a situation if you don't have the time or the money to. That way, you can have more time with your family.
Yep. Now, Dina grew up.
That. Yeah.
When I say Dina grew up dirt floor poor, I mean literally, because in their little laundry room, there was a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
To where they could see the dirt. It's a pier and beam house.
Right.
Okay. And they were raised in the poor part of Mississippi. All of Mississippi is poor, but in the poor part of poor Mississippi.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. And
it's the drain.
Oh,
on the
I thought your
HVAC
garage
system.
door was going
No,
up and
it's
down.
the drain on the HVAC
What
system.
is that? Why are we being invaded? Sorry.
Yeah.
So now, so they lived in this. Now they started in an apartment. Now there were 6 of them.
Yeah.
Then they found a house to rent, but it had a little yard. Well, that was important because they had the kids. The house was 900 square feet. 6 of them.
Wow.
900 square feet.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Dina is kind of an anomaly as a human, as it is. She, was an old soul when she was born, but she wanted to spend time with her dad. Well, when her dad wasn't working, he was doing other odd jobs to make money, or he was
Right.
working on the house or whatever.
Right.
And in that area, there was kind of there's a common bond, at least as during the time that she was coming up. I don't know what the culture is necessarily like there now, but she's coming up. Everybody would help everybody else however they could. Mm-hmm. And her dad knew some HVAC maintenance. So if something needed a part, or if it just needed, this, that, or the other thing, if someone's air conditioner would go out during the summer,
Go help.
he would go help.
Right.
Okay. And it might be for a bag of groceries. Mm-hmm. Didn't matter.
Right.
I can't afford to pay you. It doesn't matter. I'm going to come out. We can only afford the parts. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Just taking care of it. But she learned just an incredible work ethic and heart to help others in need.
Yeah.
Okay, which is what her career is dedicated to now. But she also had probably, of her siblings, I would say probably some of the higher FaceTime.
With her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But watching him work and just being with him, because she
Yeah.
has that level of interest. And she
Yeah.
just kind of, what are we doing? She's here for
Yeah.
it, And so she saw some DIY stuff. To this day, we moved into a new house a couple years ago. I don't think I've hung anything up. I put the stuff up in my office.
Yeah.
But she hangs all the stuff because she has a weird knack to go, this picture, she turns it around, sees where it's got to hang, and she'll look at the wall and go, it needs to go right there. And do and put the nail
awesome. That's
in the
awesome.
exact right spot. I've got to get a tape measure out, measure
Yeah,
the
I'm like
corners.
laser
I gotta
level,
divide it in half.
like,
I got to do
yeah.
all the things. It's a production.
Yeah.
She's like, give me the, I
Yeah.
ain't got time for that. Whap, 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 whap. Hang. There it is. Yeah. And it's better.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
she is her own laser level. Right?
That's awesome.
It's so annoying. But I love you, Bed. And sorry, Mom. I don't know why I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm sure there's something I need to be sorry for.
We're always sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
But my dad, he would train me, because every weekend it was some type of weird project. We're putting up a shed. We were building a little, flower bed thing. We were doing this. We were building something, building shelves up in the storage room, and building our own shelves and everything. Okay. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool. But he would say, now he's a dentist, right? But he would say, I'm teaching you to do all this stuff so you'll dislike it and want to go get an education.
That's funny. Yeah. The Bob.
Well, what about you, Bob? It didn't really work for you now, did it?
Yeah.
Now, he didn't get to turning wrenches on his own car, but he tried that in dental school and messed up the points and plugs on one of their cars.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised it made it to the mechanic shop, but it just was a disaster. And he knew, listen, I'll stick to the mouth, and do what I'm good at there. He knew some, could do some things, but he painted and he was good at it.
Yeah.
I didn't get involved enough with that to learn those skills from him.
Yeah.
So when it came time for me to paint,
Yeah.
Now, before he died, he was asking me tips on how to take care of the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he started me on it, but I just went deeper and deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole.
Just a passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Banks, he do like you said, oh, I can do that. And they're like, okay, go do it. And it's a disaster. And he's like, oh, it's because there's a lot of confidence and very little humility.
There has to be, I think DIY success requires confidence and tenacity.
Right.
But it's also just the fact that I just don't think that it's going to be as cheap as you think it's going to be. I've never had to do it. And I've been poor,
right.
As like a single guy,
Yeah.
and we're doing well now.
Yeah.
And so I've had it where I had to DIY it because there was no other way it was getting done.
Right.
But in the end, I still ended up putting it on a credit card.
Yeah.
Because I screwed stuff up.
Yep.
I had to buy some tools.
Yeah. You had to buy $3,000 worth of tools to do a $2,000 job.
Yeah.
Most of the
Or
tools.
I'm leaning on people who are out of their good charity and grace are contributing their skills to the situation.
Yes, my dad bought a ton of tools under the auspices of I will use it for future projects. In some cases he did, in many he did not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, well,
I think moral of the story, I think there's just, if you're going to DIY, even if it's a necessity because it doesn't get done unless you do it yourself, like have some self-awareness and maybe accept a lower quality.
Yeah.
Don't end up in a mental health situation because it's not perfect. Just get it done. Right.
So here's the thing, we're not down on any particular method.
No.
But what we're encouraging people is to not be down on any particular method.
Right.
Whether you're a DIY guy or an outsourced guy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But don't be down one or the other.
Yeah.
No,
Ideally, dip into both bags.
Yeah, and no, because it gives you an awareness. But so what we've talked about here today, all good things. But I'm sure there are some perspectives we didn't take, and things that can be discussed. And we would encourage you to do that. Say, hey, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever want to do that? So even if it's contradictory towards what we've said, tell us your opinion. Chime in. It's regular dads just kicking it around. We don't want anything to get like heated or anything. But and again, so this is all just we're not down on where we're there. It's just discussion. Oh, the reason I do everything DIY is because that's what my dad taught me.
Or maybe no one can do it as good as you do it.
Right.
That's possible.
And now my grandpa DIY'd everything. Times were simpler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it was easier to do certain things then. But he was also raised in the Great Depression. It was out of necessity.
Out of necessity. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so he knew a lot. Well, excuse me. He knew some stuff about a lot of things.
Yep.
Today's culture, as people have specialized, they're a little bit more siloed, and we take stuff a little bit deeper with less breadth.
Yep.
Okay. So it's fluid. No right or wrong. Not down on anybody. But chime in with what you think, and we'll see you here next time on The Regular Dad.
should